Good morning, everybody. So we are here to review your 2021 benefits. So on the screen, you see the agenda that we will be covering today. So your current Aetna plans are going to be changing to Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we'll go over those plans. No changes to the dental or vision, and then some changes to the voluntary coverages with MetLife and Aflac. So open enrollment starts today and will end on November 25th, which means you have until that date to complete your enrollment form or go on to the Darwinet system and enroll in medical, dental, vision, and Aflac or waive the coverages. In regards to eligibility, all employees who have met the eligibility criteria are eligible for benefits, aside from yourself, your legal spouse, a domestic partner, children up to the age of 26. Now, for those children that turn 26 during the 2021 plan year, they are going to be covered until the last day of the month in which they turn 26. After that, they will be eligible for COBRA. And then the benefits that you're reviewing and you're going to enroll in are effective January 1st to the end of the year, and you are locked into those benefits. You cannot make any changes to those benefits unless you have a qualified event. And on this screen, you'll see some of those examples: marriage, divorce, birth of a child, loss of coverage. Eligibility to Medicaid or Medicare are also going to be qualifying events. Please make sure to contact your HR team at least 31 days from the date of the event so you can review your options and make changes as needed. All right, we're going to jump right into the medical plan. So you have two amazing plans to choose from. Again, we are moving to Blue Cross Blue Shield first of the year, and I'll point out some of the enhancements and changes moving to Blue Cross Blue Shield. So this is a PPO 1000 plan. This is a national network. So this is going to include your Mayo in the network, and this is going to include your Phoenix Children's in the network. Okay. $1,000 individual deductible, $2,000 family deductible. On this plan, when you need to worry about your deductible is with major services, so hospitalization, inpatient, outpatient surgeries, durable medical equipment, MRIs, CAT scans, PET scans, things of that nature. All other services are going to have a copay associated with it. If you meet that deductible in a calendar year, you're going to go into that cost share with Blue Cross Blue Shield. You're going to pay 20% of the cost until you reach your out-of-pocket maximum, which is $4,000 for an individual and $8,000 for the family. If you meet that out-of-pocket maximum in a calendar year, you will be covered at 100% for all in-network services in that calendar year. Preventative care services, so your annual exams, your age-appropriate screenings, immunization, and lab is also going to be covered at 100% with no out-of-pocket cost. Your office visit, so this is going to be your regular doctor visit, walk-in clinics to CVS, Fry's, any of those convenient care clinics is going to be at a $25 copay. Your specialist is at a $50 copay. Now, at the beginning of the year, if you need to schedule visits with your provider or specialist, and you can schedule virtual visits, which means you don't have to go into the office, those visits will be at no cost to you, as long as it's a virtual visit. And that no copay will last until the end of the pandemic. Urgent care, you have a $75 copay per visit, and emergency room $250. I'm going to pause there and ask if anybody has any questions on the coverage so far. Okay, I'm going to move forward onto the prescription. So you have a 30-day prescription. You have several tiers with Blue Cross Blue Shield. You have actually 8. There's only 4 per se listed here, and there's additional 4 on your summary benefit of coverage that was included in the invite. If you have questions in regards to where your particular pharmacy falls, please send me an email and I can send you the pharmacy list so you can review it. Your generic drugs. So typically those generic drugs you're going to pay the lesser of. So some of those generics are running $4 at the Fry's, CVS, Walmart, Walgreens. And Walgreens is going to be a little bit more expensive in general. So you're going to pay either $4 or $10 for those generic drugs. Your brand name preferred medication is going to be up to $35 copay. Your brand name non-preferred medication is going to be either a $60 copay or $120 copay, again depending on the prescription. I do have the list of all the medications and where they fall, so if you would like that information, I can most definitely send it over to you. Specialty tiers, so if you're any kind of infusion therapy, RA medicine, some of those high ticket items, there are 4 additional tiers under specialty. Again, if you need to see that, I can send it over to you so you can review and see where your particular prescription falls and what your copay is going to be. Any questions on this plan?
No questions, but can you adjust the screen that we're looking at so that we can follow along on this, where you're at?
What was that again?
Your screen, you're ahead of your screen.
I'm going over the first medical plan here. That's where I'm at.
So you were talking about
the PPO 1000.
Right.
And then the pharmacy, that's what I've gone over so far. That's it. But I can see if I have tools. Let's see, use my drawing tools to highlight what I am speaking of. Is that where you're like this? Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's probably not the best option, but let's see how I can undo that. Normal. How about an arrow? Does arrow work better? Okay, we'll use an arrow. All right, I'm going to move to the next plan, which is your PPO 3000. This is a high deductible health plan. So this is a HSA qualified plan. So if you are enrolled today in a high deductible health plan and have your UMB account, you do not need to open a new account. Even though we are changing insurance carriers from Aetna to Blue Cross, you do not need to open a new UMB account. So that's very important to note. On this PPO 3000, it is a high deductible health plan, which means all services are going to be subject to deductible first. All services. So you're going to pay your $3,000 deductible as an individual or $6,000 as a family. Once you pay that, then you go to that cost share with Blue Cross Blue Shield. You pay 10% of costs until you reach that out-of-pocket maximum. All services, doctor visits, urgent care, emergency room specialist, and pharmacy are all subject to that deductible. What is not subject to the deductible is going to be your preventative care. So your annual exams, your well man, well woman, and well child checks, age appropriate screenings and lab work and immunization are all going to be covered at 100% with no out-of-pocket cost. Also, the preventative drugs are going to be covered at 100%. And again, I can send that list over. All FDA approved contraceptives are also going to be covered at 100%. After you meet your deductible, that's when your copays for your pharmacy come into play. Before your deductible, the non-preventative drugs, you do have to pay the full retail cost of those drugs. You can use your HSA dollars to pay for all the services. Hennesy will also deposit $200 a month into your HSA account that you can use for qualified services, medical, dental, vision for yourself, spouse, and any dependents on the plan. Any questions on this high deductible health plan? Okay. All right. Next, we're going to go over the HSA. We do partner with UMB Bank. As I stated earlier, you do not need to re-enroll in the HSA if you already have it today with UMB Bank. You do not need to re-enroll. A few qualifiers for the HSA. So first one here, you must be covered under a high deductible health plan, which you have the opportunity to do so. You cannot be covered under a non-HSA plan. So if you're covered under a spouse, domestic partner, Access, TRICARE, or any other plan, that excludes you from being able to open an HSA account. Also, you cannot be enrolled in any part of Medicare. You may be Medicare age and not yet enrolled in any part of Medicare, which means you can have your HSA account and utilize those funds. If you are enrolled in Medicare and you have an existing HSA account, you can use the dollars in there to pay for your qualified medical expenses, Medicare premiums, and start to use it similar to a 401k without any tax penalties. And then finally, you cannot be claimed as a dependent on another person's tax return. So those are the HSA account qualifiers. Any questions on that? Okay, for the 2021 plan year, the government did increase the HSA maximums, making it $3,600 for an individual. These are pre-tax dollars going into your HSA account. Remember to back out the amount that Hennesy contributes. It's not on top of, so remember to back that out before you make your annual selection. So that's for an individual, $3,600 and $7,200 for a family. If you are 55 plus, you can add an additional $1,000, making it $4,600 or $8,200. As a reminder, the HSA account is owned by you. The money rolls over year. Any unused balances continue to roll over, and if you invest in the opportunities provided by UMB Bank, any interest earned is going to be tax-free, and that rolls over as well. And then, as I stated earlier, as we start to age, we can withdraw funds similar to a 401k, and that is also going to be a tax-free without any tax penalties. So any questions on the HSA? Okay. Next, we're going to go over the flexible spending account, or FSA. So the FSA is, again, a pre-tax deduction. If you enroll in the high deductible health plan, which is the HSA qualified plan, you cannot enroll in the FSA. If you enroll in the $1,000 deductible, you can enroll in the FSA. You may also enroll in the FSA without enrolling in any other plans. So this is a standalone plan that does not require you to enroll in anything. So again, these are pre-tax deductions up to $2,500 in a year that you may select. And that is available to use day one. So that money is loaded on the Visa card, and you receive that card and you can use those funds immediately. Then the amount that you selected is deducted from your paycheck throughout the calendar year. This plan only has a $500 max rollover into the 2021 plan year. So if you enroll in this for the year 20 now, you can roll over $500. If you enroll in it in 2021, you can roll over $500 into 2022. Anything in excess of the $500 will be forfeited. If you leave the company, you do not get to keep it. You do not take it with you unless you COBRA the benefit. You can use the dollars to pay for qualified medical expenses for you, your spouse, and dependents. You can use it for medical, dental, vision, prescriptions, things of that nature. So if you know you're going to have expenses coming up first of the year, orthodontia for the children, for yourself, it's a good way to have those dollars ready to go, and then it's payroll deducted, and again, it's a pre-tax, so helping lower that taxable income. You also have the dependent care FSA available. So again, pre-tax dollars that you utilize to pay for daycare or elderly care services. The maximum for the 2021 plan year is $5,000. And if you're married and filing separately, it's $2,500. The amount is deducted from your paycheck on a pre-tax basis, put into an account, and then you can use those dollars to pay for those providers or pay yourself back. Any questions on the flexible spending account? Okay. We're going to move next to your telemedicine with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now it is changing beginning of the year. So Blue Care Anywhere is going to be your new telemedicine provider. You'll have medical services, counseling services, and psychiatry all available telephonically. And because of pandemic, if you utilize these services in 2021, there will be zero copays associated with these services, regardless of what plan you enroll in. So if you enroll in the high deductible health plan, you can still use these services without a copay. Again, these are medical doctors that can send prescriptions to the pharmacy that's closest to you. The counseling and psychiatry services are available, and once you utilize, you will keep those same counselors or psychiatrists until the termination of the treatment plan, or they refer you to an in-person provider. You will get additional information in your welcome kit when you get your Blue Cross Blue Shield ID card. You will be required to register online before using the services, or you can download the app to your telephone and register that way. Any questions on the telemedicine? Okay. Dental plans. So we're going to go over the dental plans. There are no changes to the dental plans. Everything stayed the same. The cost stayed the same. So on this plan, you have $1,500 to utilize towards your dental services for yourself and any dependents. So if it's yourself, a spouse, and children, each person gets $1,500 to use towards those services. Then you have an additional $1,000 to use towards child orthodontia, and that's a one-time lifetime benefit per child. Your preventative services are covered at 100%, so that's cleaning twice a year. And then if you have any type of coronary heart disease or are currently pregnant, you get a third cleaning at no cost to you. Your basic services are going to be your cavities, your emergency services, emergency extractions. Those are covered at 80%. Your major services on this plan is going to be root canals, endodontics, periodontics, implants, dentures, crowns. Those are going to be covered at 50%. Now, if you use the basic services or the major services, you will be subject to a one-time deductible of $50 as an individual or $150 as a family. And you only pay that once in the calendar year. If you do not use the basic services or the major services, you will never have to worry about that deductible. The next plan we're going to cover is the DHMO plan. Now the DHMO plan is a little bit different. On this plan, you are required to pick a provider, a dentist, and each person on the plan may have their own dentist. This plan does not have an annual deductible. It does not have an annual maximum. You still have your cleanings twice a year covered at 100%. Additional cleanings on this plan are $45. All other services, basic services, major services, adult and child orthodontia are going to be covered under a fee schedule. And we'll have an example of that fee schedule here on the next screen. So this is these are actual pages from the fee schedule that was attached to the invite. So you'll look for the dental code of the service that you want to obtain, and the dollar amount associated, that is what you pay out of pocket. That is your cost. You may use your FSA or your HSA dollars to pay for these services. Now, again, it is important to pick a provider. In the event that you do enroll for this plan and you do not pick a provider, Delta Care USA is going to assign you a provider based on your home zip code. But at any time during the calendar year, you may change that provider. Any questions on the dental? Okay.
I got a question.
Of course.
How much is each plan?
So that is in your enrollment form, and I'll bring that up at the end. Did you say the cost? Is that what you said? The per pay
Yeah,
period? Okay.
that'll be fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the enrollment form was also provided in your calendar invite. So I did add everything last night and resent the invite with all the attachments. If you can go in there and look towards the bottom of the invite, and all the pages will be attached, but I'll bring them up at the end of the presentation to go over them. The Delta Dental does also have a website and a telephone app. The website and the app can help you find a provider, review an explanation of benefit, review how much of the benefit you've utilized, download your ID card, or find a provider. Next, we're going to go over the vision plan. So the vision plan did not change, neither did the cost, so it stayed exactly the same. So your eye exam that's available every 12 months, and it is a rolling 12 months, which means if you went to get your eye exam in 2020 on July 1st, you will have to wait until July 1st, 2021 or thereafter to schedule your exam. And that is going to be at a $10 copay. Your frames that are available every 12 months, you have a $120 allowance to use towards the frames and then a 20% discount, anything above that. Your single vision, bifocal, and trifocal plastic lenses are going to be at a $10 copay. Your contact lenses that are available every 12 months in lieu of the lenses for your frames is an $80 allowance and then a 15% discount off the balance over $80. Medically necessary contact lenses are always going to be covered in full. And if you are diabetic, you get an extra screening and additional services at no cost to you. Okay, next we're going to go over the life insurance. So there is a change in the life insurance. It is moving away from Unum to MetLife. So at this time, I'm going to actually bring up the MetLife form just because I think it's important to go over and that everybody that's enrolled in Unum knows exactly what to do to keep those coverages. So just bear with me as I bring up the form. So this is the form that was attached to your invite. And this is going to be the enrollment form you need to utilize to keep the current Unum coverage. So if you're enrolled in the Unum plans, we would like you to complete just section 2. This is going to be your personal information. If you're enrolling for the first time, we will need your basic earnings. But right now, for those of you that are already enrolled in Unum, this is how you're going to complete this form. So your information here on section 2. Then you're going to indicate if you have the life insurance here, and then you're going to type in this box, keep the same. If you know what you have and you just want to keep it, you can just write keep the same on here. If you have it for your spouse or your dependent, same scenario. Just type keep the same and we don't need anything else. If you're enrolling for the first time, we will need you to complete the same section 2, new enrollment, and then indicate in the box how much you want to cover yourself. If you want to enroll in $50,000, type in $50,000. If you want to enroll your spouse for 10, the children for 10, just fill in those amounts here. Whether you're going to continue with the Unum coverage or enroll for the first time, everyone must complete section 5, which is going to be your beneficiary information. Very important here. So complete this section for your beneficiaries. And then remember, as you have qualified events during the calendar year, that you can update your beneficiary at any time. Then you're just going to go to the next page and provide your name and a signature and return this form back to Jasmine so she can process the form and make sure you stay enrolled in your life insurance policy. If you're enrolling in short-term disability or you have it today with Unum and you want to keep it, same scenario applies to that. So we're just going to come up here and we're going to check these boxes for short-term disability or the long-term disability. And you're just going to, you don't have to indicate core or buy-up because you only have one plan being offered. Just click the box and we'll know to keep it the same. Any questions on this form? Okay. So we're going to review then the changes here on this screen. So eligibility, so not all employees working 20 plus hours are going to be eligible for the voluntary life. You can still enroll in up to 5 times your annual earnings up to $500,000. And for your spouse, $100,000 not to exceed 100% of your coverage and children $10,000. The guarantee issue for those of you that are newly eligible or new hires, you have 5 times your annual base earnings up to $200,000. Guarantee issue, which means no medical underwriting. For your spouse, $25,000, and for children, $10,000. For those of you that are enrolled today under Unum and have not maxed out that policy to the guarantee issue, you can increase your current coverage during this open enrollment period at the guarantee issue. If you want to keep it exactly the same, please indicate so on that form. If you know you have $50,000 today and you want to do $60,000, please write $60,000. We'll know how much you have. If you have a question as to how much you currently have, we can send Elise that information and she can tell you, or you can contact Jasmine directly. One of the other features to this new policy is it does not have a benefit reduction. With the current Unum policy, as we start to age, our life insurance benefit reduced. With the MetLife, you have the same face value of that policy until the termination of the policy. Any questions on the MetLife voluntary life insurance?
Leticia, is that different from the last page you're on? And what's the voluntary life and accidental death and dismemberment versus the MetLife life insurance?
It is moving. It is moving over because they gave us some better rates and they gave us some enhancements to the program. So covering employees that work less than 30 hours, there's no benefit reduction schedule, which is an enhancement over today. So yeah, we are moving away from Unum to MetLife, but everyone who has a policy today with Unum is being grandfathered in, which means you would not have to go through any medical underwriting with MetLife, and you can continue the current coverage. You also have the opportunity to increase it at this time, again, with no medical underwriting, as long as you stay under the guarantee issue amount. You can increase it over the guarantee issue, but there will be some medical underwriting involved at that time. So the enrollment form that I went over before this screen, that's what you need to complete for the life and AD&D.
Okay. Gonzalo and I are both wondering how much we already have, because, and this is something I brought up last year, nobody ever, I never get anything back saying what kind of life insurance we have. We know we signed up for it, but there's nothing, nothing ever comes back saying, well, by the way, you signed up for this. And then
Hey, Mike.
to complicate that, you had the Aflac program going last year too. How does that affect this? Is that coming back or no?
Elise, was that you?
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I got all of those forms for you last year on what you're currently enrolled in and who your beneficiary is. So I'll pull up that same information and be able to resend that to you. And I'll send you Gonzalo's information too, since you're helping him out with the forms. And then maybe you and I can set up a call and we'll go through any questions you have on Gonzalo's forms too, the three of us together.
I'm just going to keep mine the same, but I think Gonzalo wants to know what he's done.
Okay, I'll get that information over to both of you.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep mine the same, so don't worry about me. But let's check Gonzalo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Elise. To your question before in regards to the Aflac products, so the Aflac there is some discounted programs available through Aflac that is changing over to a group plan. So there's discounts available there. And we can set up an Aflac representative to give you a call to go over your current Aflac coverages to see if it would be beneficial for you to move over to the new group policies. So we can do that. I can arrange that through Elise to have an Aflac representative reach out to everyone on a one-on-one basis to go over what they currently have and what the changes are for the new year. Will that work?
Yes, I'd like to be contacted.
Okay, I will make sure that happens. All right, I'm going to move forward to the next screen, which is going to be the short-term disability and the long-term disability. Those will also move over to MetLife. So the current coverages are the same. They mirrored the UNUM policy. So on that previous enrollment form, that's where you're also going to indicate any changes or if you want to keep the current coverages. So the short-term disability, this covers you for any off-the-job illness, hospitalization, or accident. It starts to pay at the 14th day. It covers 60% of your pre-disability earnings. The change with MetLife is your pre-disability earnings are now going to be your base, commission, and bonus, and it covers up to $1,000 a week. The duration of this policy is 11 weeks, and then we'll go over the pre-existing limitation here shortly. The long-term disability starts to pay at the 90th day or the termination of the short-term disability policy. Again, it covers 60% of your pre-disability earnings, base commissions and bonus, and it covers up to $7,500 a month. This plan lasts up to age 65 or normal Social Security retirement age. Now, if you are enrolled today in either the short-term or long-term disability plans, you have already satisfied the pre-existing limitation clause. If you're enrolling for the first time, this does apply to you. So it's called a 312. What that means is if you saw a provider, took medication, or were diagnosed with a condition 3 months prior to the effective date, you would be, that particular condition or diagnosis would be excluded from being compensable in 2021. If it's something unrelated, then it would probably be paid. Any questions on the short-term and long-term disability? Okay. So next we're going to go over the Employee Assistance Plan, or the EAP. So this is offered to all employees regardless if they enroll in benefits or not. This is available for all employees plus dependents. You do get 3 face-to-face visits per issue, and you can do telephonic or Skype or schedule individual appointments. You have other services available. I did provide a flyer that is labeled support link. It has a lot of additional benefits to you. It has self-help videos, classes you can take, legal resources, concierge services, explanation of benefit review, medical bill review, discount programs for you and the family. So it is a very good service, and it's at no cost to any of the employees. So utilize these services as needed, and also it's 100% confidential. There's no reporting back to anyone as to who uses the program and as to why. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, there are some changes to the AFLAC programs. So I will make sure that an AFLAC representative is contacts all the members that are enrolled in AFLAC to go over their individual policies and what the changes are beginning of the year. There is a reduction in cost. So I myself am enrolled. I went over my current plans and the new offerings, and I was able to save money and enroll in more of the programs. So the accident policy is still available. So I'm going to bring that flyer up here so everyone is familiar with it. Just bear with me as I get that. So this flyer, this was attached to the invite. So you'll see it labeled additional benefit offerings. I'm going to skip directly to the AFLAC plans and what is being offered. Now the cost does still require
calls as we're in this meeting. Is she a fucking idiot? My coworker is sending me work calls as we're going through this freaking meeting right now. Is she a fucking idiot?
I am going to mute everyone. Okay, we're going to go over the AFLAC plans. So the accident plan, you'll see there's different coverages here. So there's individualized initial hospitalization. So if you go into the hospital, you get an immediate payout of $1,250. And then you get an additional $300 as you stay in the hospital. If you go into the intensive care unit, it's $400 per day. So it's a lot more coverage for a lot less expensive. On this accident plan, there's also a built-in accidental death benefit. So if you enrolled in this plan, this is automatically given to you. And then the hospital plan, it's a lot, and again, these are going to be guarantee issue with no medical underwriting. So really good coverage for less money and at guarantee issue. So the hospital plan, upon admission, it's $2,000. And then depending on what kind of stay you have, that's how much your benefit is going to be. The lump sum critical illness now is going to include the cancer coverage. Today, they're separate. Now they're going to be together, and you have the opportunity to enroll in up to $30,000 immediate payouts should you be diagnosed with any of these conditions. And then you can do $15,000 or $15,000, and then your spouse gets half of whatever you enroll in. And then children on this plan are covered at no cost to you. So these are the plans, these are the enhancements. The costs are very personalized, so that will require a one-on-one consultation with an AFLAC representative, and I will make sure that someone contacts everyone to go over those benefits. Okay, so that's the AFLAC. So within that same flyer that I just pulled up, and I'll pull it up again, on that task, on the AFLAC page at the very end, if you don't have it today and you just want somebody to call you, I can arrange that to happen. You can complete this and get it back to me, or you can click on this My Time Trade link that's at the bottom, and it'll take you directly to Jose's calendar. So this is what it looks like when you click on it. Hello CBR employee, and you're going to click continue, and then it brings up the calendar and it lets you select dates and times that you want to set for Jose to call you. So once you click on the date, you continue and you add your information, and he will give you, you're on his calendar, and he will call you to go over the benefits. So you can do it that way as well. You can email him, or you can call him at this 480 number. So one way or another, we're going to make sure that an AFLAC representative gets in touch with you. All right. There's also an enrollment line here at the bottom. If you just want to call and talk to someone, you could do that. These benefits are also going to be on Darwinet as you log in. You're going to see these plans in there. If you already know what you want to enroll in, you can do it that way. I'm going to unmute everybody now and see if anybody has any questions. Okay, I'm going to continue. So the pet healthcare is still available. So if you your pet is enrolled today in the United Pet Care program, it did go up $1.60. So I think today we're paying $1.40. It's going up to $11.60 or $11.66, one of those two. It is in the flyer that I'm going to bring up here in another minute. You do have to enroll online using this link, and the form. Let me bring that up really quick since we're on this subject. Again, this is going to be under the packet that's labeled additional benefit offerings. And this is the United Pet Care flyer. So you want to go where it says choice program, either Arizona, California, go to the bottom, and that's what you're going to be paying. So you're going to have one of the two benefits, and then this is the link to enroll. It's $11.66 for one pet, and then it goes up from there. The next plan is still available. That's still available is a Legal Shield and ID Shield. The Legal Shield is a suite of attorneys that you have at your disposal for many things. So contract review, trial defense attorneys or services, power of attorneys, living will, those are all available with the Legal Shield program. The ID Shield, that helps protect you against identity theft. So they monitor your credit and the World Wide Web to make sure no one is trying to use your information. And then if you're a victim of identity theft, they will help with the restoration. So this also requires an online enrollment. And again, this information is in the packet labeled additional benefit offerings. This is the website you go to, and then the flyer provides you additional information as to what is covered and then the cost. You may do individual, family, for one, or for both. Any questions so far? Okay, so we're at the end of the presentation. I'm going to bring up a couple things. The first thing I'm going to bring up is your enrollment form. So enrollment form, you're either going to complete the paper form or you're going to go online and complete it. If you're waiving, we still need to have this form back from everyone. So if you're going to be waiving, we need section A, section F, and section G completed. Those are the waivers. If you want to enroll, please indicate by checking the boxes what you want to enroll in. And on section C, if you're enrolling in the high deductible health plan with the HSA, here's where you tell us how much of your pre-tax dollars you want to go into your HSA account. Remember that you have to subtract the $200 that Hennesy is giving you per month. Here on the side is your annual maximum. So remember, you have to subtract that from this $3,600, $7,200 before your contributions. Dental is in section D, and this is the per pay period cost for these coverages. So again, you want to indicate waiving or enrolling and at what level: employee, employee spouse, employee child, or employee family, and then sign section E and return it to us by the 25th. So that's your enrollment form. The next packet that I was going through, as you saw, this again is labeled the additional benefit offering. So this one here is your FSA or flexible spending account enrollment form. If you're not enrolling in the flexible spending account, we don't need this back. The next is a flyer on the ID Shield and Legal Shield with the instructions on how to enroll, the per month cost, pet healthcare and how to enroll, and the per month cost. And then finally, the AFLAC form that we went over. Does anybody have any questions on anything we've gone over so far?
Letitia, this is Mike. I've got Gonzalo's form pretty much filled out. I don't know what the date of eligibility is. And
You
all
can
the
leave
little-
that blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some help from Elise or somebody he just wants to do the same plan he did last year, but I'm not sure what to click off here.
I think Elise has that information. Is that correct, Elise, or do you need us to send it to you?
I've got it. Mike, I'll give you a call when the webinar ends.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I have a question. Are we doing MD Live again?
So the MD Live, if you are registered already, you will get a direct email from MD Live coming to you. So it'll look for it in your personal email or your work email, whatever email you use to register. You should be getting it any day now. I already got mine in my Gmail account, and they're just confirming the renewal at $18.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Tony. Who do I contact to go over what I had previously? That way I can make some decisions for next year.
So Elise, do you want to do that or you want Jasmine to?
I think I have Tony's form as well, so I can shoot him a quick email and let him know what he worked off last year.
Okay, thank you so much, Elise.
Thank you.
Jasmine, this does raise a quick question for me. We have the ability to fill out these forms on Darwinet this year, is my understanding. Will Darwinet save our elections so we know next year what we enrolled for this year?
So there will be some changes to next year enrollment platform. We hope to have everyone over to the new HRIS system effective 1/1/22. That's going to be in waves and transitions. So you'll be notified as you're being moved to Prism. That's going to be it's going to be a lot better than what you're seeing today. And that will be able to bring up what you currently have versus what you're going to be enrolling in for 22. So that's coming in the next year or so. Until then, we will undergo the same thing where we have to provide that information.
I got one more question on MD Live.
Yes.
What about the people that were not enrolled last year?
If you were not enrolled last year and you waived, then you obviously have to make all new elections or file a waiver. So you can do the waiver online or on the paper.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So in Elise, do you have the Darwinet link?
I believe, is it in your calendar invite?
I'm going to look, but if it's not, I can send it over to you. And then it can go out in an email, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll send that over to you right now. And then I'll just add to the email the reminders of the open enrollment date. So starts today and ends on the 25th. And again, if for some reason you are not able to complete the online enrollment, you can use the paper app. The MetLife form will be a paper. It's not available online. The only things that are going to be online is going to be your medical, your dental, your vision, and your AFLAC. That's going to be online. And you can enroll or waive. And of course, your HSA selections are also going to be available online. Any questions? Anything else? Any questions or anything I've gone over? Okay. Thank you everybody for your time. I will send over the YouTube link for reference or for those that were not able to make the call.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.